Bub Carrington, NBA draft player comparisons. Brian and I have both prepared a best and a worst case player comp. We're going to try to convince the other person our comp is better than theirs. Come away with a consensus for Bub Carrington. You can go first here. What is the best case scenario player comp for Bub Carrington?
I think the best case scenario is somebody like Reggie Jackson, just somebody who has a good feel for the game. His shot isn't great, but he can create for himself and makes enough of them. He's a good enough playmaker. Kind of flirts in between being like a low end starter in the league and a high end bench guy. To me, I think that's best case scenario for Bub.
I like that. I could see that. What were the peak numbers there? I'm
Let's
curious.
look up peak numbers. It may have been with the Pistons. Not
Yeah,
to rehash your Pistons stuff.
I'm like playing numbers in my head. Like, what was his best season?
Uh, 18.8 points per game, 6.2 assists with Detroit. His second season in Detroit. First season in Detroit, he was 17 and a half points, 9.2 assists, 4.7 boards.
Okay, yeah.
But
That
for his career, he's 12.6 points, 4.2 assists. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 seasons in the league. Like,
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. All right. Well, I'm gonna allow you to pull rank because I feel equally about that one and mine. You get to decide the winner. I said
yeah.
D'Angelo Russell. I was looking for a tallish combo
Yeah.
guard that has some sizzle, has some fun, has some passing flair, but is a scorer. And I don't think like D'Angelo, I thought when he entered the league, he would end up being one of the very best players in the league. That didn't come to fruition, but he has been a starter for many years. And I think that could happen for Bub if the 1% outcome comes true.
Yeah. D'Angelo's a little bit of a better shooter, though. Right? Am I making that up?
No,
I
I
know
think
Laker
you're
fans were pissed the way he shot in the playoffs this year. Um, but I think he's a little bit of a better shooter. Like Reggie Jackson came into the league, his first his first 4 seasons with the Thunder were 21%, 23%, 33.9, and 27.8 from
yeah.
three. I think Bub may fall more in that category than the D'Angelo category.
All right, let's give you Reggie Jackson. I think that's the correct answer. All right, let's move to negative, the worst case scenario player comp for Bob Carrington. What do you got?
Let's go with a Pistons point guard whose shot never came around, Killian Hayes.
Oh no, don't do that to me. Yuck. Yuck. It's actually pretty good though, because Killian was really tall and oh
Tall, had feel for the game, was going to work well in the pick and roll. The jumper was going to come along, and it just never did, and it rendered everything else relatively ineffective.
here's why it can't be Killian. Killian never had the vibes, aesthetic love that Bob
Fair,
Carrington, I think, will. One guy
fair.
who did. How about Turquavion Smith? How about Turk Smith? Total vibes guy, 6'4", skinny point guard who had a
Yep.
cool one-syllable nickname. And yeah, just is basically unplayable in the league, but he's still fun.
Unplayable but fun.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's
think
the
that's fair.
thing, right? Like, at least with Bub, much like Turquavion Smith, even if he's awful, he's still fun. Killian Hayes reached a point where, like, this is not fun anymore. This is horrible. That I don't think can happen with Bub because he's Bub.
Is there a chance we roll our eyes at Bub when the guy calls himself Bub and he's out there putting up, you know, 2 for 11 shooting nights?
Oh, for sure. But it's still fun because you can laugh at Bub while also laughing with Bub.
Fair
I'm
enough.
I'm
Fair
pulling
enough.
rank. We're going
We'll go with Turk. We'll go with Turk.
Turquavion Smith, Reggie Jackson. There's your comparisons. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, Play GM with just one click and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at NBA2KLab.com/NBA-mini-games.